up Bernie dropping out of the race, but I know a lot of people around my age, socioeconomic background, etc., are truly hurting over what they believe is the loss of an opportunity for a revolution. I personally never thought that was going to happen like that. Hi there, my name is Cashmere, this is Cashmere Thoughts, and thank you so much for joining us today. And welcome from the depths of quarantine. Over the past few days, I have seen a lot of sadness and depression as people try to cope with being in quarantine. Online, I'm seeing a lot of topics like, oh, what are the things that you miss? What would you be doing right now, especially on like an Easter Sunday? And I'll insert an unreleased clip of me kind of explaining why I have a different perspective on the quarantine and perhaps the privilege of feeling like all of this craziness is somehow manageable. But I do think it's important to focus on the positive, if at all possible. Treating the things that are happening in our lives as an opportunity. I know that so much has happened in my personal life that I wouldn't comprehended of doing before quarantine, especially like, I don't know, this channel. So I'm going to kind of flip the script and list all of the great things that Miss Rona has given me. House wigs and makeup. Boredom will make you do. Will allow you to experiment. If you don't have to go to work the next day and be embarrassed or deal with questions like, oh, your hair grows so long, so fast, how do you do that? This is, no, it's like you're free to do you. I mean, once again, do I scare my boyfriend on a daily basis? I wish there wasn't as much fear. I wish there was maybe a little bit more excitement, but like, it's fine, that's fine. It's jarring. I wish it wasn't jarring. Jarring is a tough word, I feel like, but it's fine. There's Legos in my life again, but at a 15 and up age range. We're talking 1,000+ pieces. So there's Legos, there's puzzles, there's board games, all of which have never really left my life, but to allow that like a daily moment for a puzzle or a video game, I think that's more special than we're giving it credit for. I mean, what would you have been doing otherwise? Okay, no, not this question. We won't do that. We won't do that. I mean, I've really started to get into video games. I am newly obsessed with Animal Crossing. Nobody has to hear about this. Everybody's into Animal Crossing, although I am an OG. I'm an ex-New Leaf mayor, coming into this new spot. I don't know how I feel about it. They got this other like chipmunk dude who's mayor, and I feel like it's just because he knows the Tonks kids or whatever who own like the shop, and I don't think he knows what he's doing, and maybe it's just me, but I feel like I should be mayor. Like, I'm building bridges, I'm placing museums. It's okay, we're dealing with it, but yeah, that's a main part of the game that I'm really feeling like I'm missing out on. But still great, having a fantastic time shaking trees. I would like to go to my office though and have an assistant. But those are my issues. I'll deal with those. Like, do you know how many hours you can actually lose to a puzzle? The stuff I guess they do in like lighthouses, or I assume if you had to go to an abandoned island, with a puzzle you have two choices. You're either gonna go crazy or you're gonna really hyper focus and watch the hours kind of disappear. And another one is I am starting to be okay with the hours. Learning to be okay with being idle. That's huge. That's strangely necessary, I believe, for your mental health. And as a person who possibly has the inclination to constantly be multitasking, and I can't be alone in that. In a world where we have our phones and tablets and every other screen that's completely interactive and can provide us with not only entertainment but the opportunity to feel like we are working. For me, I feel like multitasking was an even larger portion of my life. When I started my company after getting diagnosed with kidney failure, but using my dialysis time to edit photos, or while working full-time trying to produce a short film. Just feeling like every moment you're not at work or you're not creating, you're falling short. And that is, to some degree, to a large degree, just being unkind to yourself, and grows the chasm between connecting with what you think you should be doing and what you want to be doing. I think the most important thing that I have been able to realize is a sense of balance. That's not something that's always come naturally to me, and I think it's one characteristic that might be universal if we let it. Right now in California, we are experiencing some of the least pollution, like the best quality air I've heard in the world. In the country, this is in a place where pollution is not only tangible, where you can feel it in the air, smell it, taste it, but you can actually see it in the skies. This quarantine has forced us to not use our cars, to not pollute the planet, to leverage technology in a way that we haven't yet. We've used it and it's been almost superficial, but now out of necessity, we are using it not to just show off, but to truly connect, to broaden our circles, to reach out to people that we haven't, to connect with people and provide an opportunity for socialization that many people have always suffered from not being able to access, whether it be from social anxiety or disability or handicap. We have companies now being forced to think about what is the most economical way to go forward. Some have unfortunately let a lot of people go, and this is not something that can be solved easily, but we'll come back to that. But as far as making companies aware of how much they can accomplish without people getting into cars, dealing with commutes, this might also allow women, parents, but unfortunately primarily women who are caregivers, to leverage their productivity and the work that they can accomplish outside of being in the actual workplace, where these magical numbers of 9 to 5 and micromanaging might become a thing of the past, and we will actually base the importance of a role or an employee on what has been accomplished, regardless of where they're sitting, who they've spoken to, or who they're special to. In another larger way, we have been separated both socially, politically, and economically. And maybe Watchmen, the comic, not the show, is too close to both a religion and a political stance for me, but I see this pandemic as an opportunity. I see it as a possibility, an opportunity for human nature to overcome, to evolve, to become a better version of ourselves. Separation has been based on perceptions of wealth, perceptions of poverty, perceptions based on race, and have put us all on an even playing field. And mind you, I realize and respect and want to emphasize the difference between those who are monetarily able to survive this time and those who are truly suffering. However, within that group of people who are suffering, the people who are truly hurting, politically, they have not aligned themselves necessarily with those who can help them out, as opposed to working towards raising all boats. Certain political inclinations have those in the lower class pointing at one another as why we're here. When you take an outside force, whether it be a space alien planted by an evil genius or a pandemic that forces us to all suddenly realize that socialism isn't a dirty word. Socialism is just an overarching term for what do we do to help those who are suffering? And when I talk about a sense of balance, perhaps we'll start to see clearly, all of us, that those on the top may not have our best interests in heart and would rather divide us for the sake of a vote while we continue to suffer. Maybe it'll allow us to realize that while we're all here in need of help, that it's not just something that's holding society back. And that could change the world. If that means we don't vote for Trump again, if that means we push the Democratic Party more left, if that means we start to identify with one another as opposed to putting up imaginary walls, I think that's the change we're looking for. And I know, not to bring up Bernie dropping out of the race, but I know a lot of people around my age, socioeconomic background, etc., are truly hurting over what they believe is the loss of an opportunity for a revolution. I personally never thought that was going to happen like that. I personally don't know for a fact that no one person can bring that about. However, if we all start to see what we can do, become involved, realize our importance, and if it has to stem from fear of things getting worse, I think that's how a revolution happens. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know it was a mixture of like comedic and heavy, but I am just winging this. And if you like what I'm winging, we'll think about that one. Subscribe, like, comment. I'd love to find out, what have you guys learned while dealing with Miss Rona? What has Miss Rona given you? What do you hope will happen? I think we're in an interesting time. I think we're in legendary times. I think we're in times where you name generations and like you talk about it for the rest of your life. After the war, you know what I mean? After the pandemic. And that's incredible. So I hope you're writing down your thoughts. I hope you're blogging, vlogging. I hope you're keeping a record, because this is something noteworthy, no matter how it ends. Thanks again. Subscribe.